Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see in front of you, a car alternator. This is a small one. I think it's around 250 watts. And this is the label. Bosch F002 G10 648 G1S1 14 volts 20 to 43 amperes, made in India. 903. Okay. So I'm a bit confused about its power rating, since the current rating is given as 20 to 43 amperes at 14 volts. So if it's 20 amperes, then it is 280 watts. But if it's 43 amperes, then it is somewhere around 600 to 700 watts. And I can't see it's possible, since the generator is really small. But then it's a Bosch alternator. First I'm going to show you that according to my calculations, this alternator is not working. So I'm going to open it up and see the problem, and then correct that problem and bring it to the working mode again. And yes, I bought it very cheap for around 250 rupees. That is around $4. Okay, so let's open it up. So as you can see, this portion is out, and this box is for the brushes, I guess. The brushes are connected to the slip rings. So if there are any brushes, if they are not worn out, so I'm going to check them by connecting 15 volts DC supply. Okay, so I'm going to give a 15 volts DC supply to this and this terminal to feed the brushes, and check if there is a little bit magnetic locking on this rotor. If the magnetic locking is present, then the alternator is working fine. Otherwise, I will have to take out this regulator and check if the brushes are present at all. Okay, so this is the 15 volts DC supply from a laptop charger. This is one. Here it is sparking, but no magnetic locking. Okay, let's check here. Sparking again, no locking. So yeah, I think there is some problem with the regulator, or the brushes are worn out. So I will have to take this out as well. Okay, so guys, the brushes were present. This is one brush, and this is the other slot, and here is the brush and the spring. So it was like this. Yeah, something like this, but it's coming out because the second one's spring is very powerful. And this also looks good, the slip rings. So let's check where the problem is, why the field is not getting activated. Okay, so guys, now I'm going to touch the 15 volts terminals directly to the slip rings, you can see, and then check if there is a magnetic locking. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, connection has been made and there is no magnetic locking at all. So the problem becomes clear that there is something wrong with the field winding of this alternator, that is the rotor field. So let's open it up completely. Yeah, but this one is not going to come out. I will have to take out the regulator first. So guys, this one is an extremely jammed screw. It is not opening. So let's see what I can do to open it. Okay, so this is a rubber strip. Yeah, but it is too big. Well, I saw a video on YouTube where they opened a jammed screw that was completely worn out from the top by placing a rubber. So how I'm going to open it? Well, there is another way. I think I don't have to take this out. I will take the head off. Okay. Yeah, it is coming out. Oh yes. So finally I have taken out the field winding of the alternator. So guys, as you can see that the alternator is completely open now. This is the armature winding that generates electricity. Okay, and this is the field winding. You can see the brush contacts, the fan, the pulley, and this teeth like field winding. These are actually the poles. So I'm still on the issue where the problem is with this field winding. So let's remove this and concentrate on this one. So to figure out the problem, I will have to take out this cap. So let's remove it. Yeah, the cap is removed. From where I can see, this is one wire. Yeah, I will bring it close. Yeah, so this is one wire. So it is coming from here and then behind the bearing, and this is the wire that is going to the field. Let's see if it is worn out from somewhere. Actually, I don't think it is. This is the second wire. It's going out from here, then to the bearing. So there is some problem with the winding. I will have to test the winding again. So guys, this is the field winding and this is the 15 volts DC supply from a laptop charger. I'm going to give the supply to these slip rings and check if these poles get electromagnetized. Okay, so at present there is almost no magnetism. Okay, one wire is here and the other one is here. Yeah, it's not working, which means there is some problem with the windings of the field. So I was checking the problem and then I found, yeah, there is a slight problem with this one. This wire has come out. Okay, I will show it to you. Yeah, you can see this wire is out, it is not connected, and there is this the other part of it. Yeah, I think you can see it here. Yeah. Okay, so I will just show you that it's working otherwise if I connect it directly from here. Yeah, you can see the spark, which means that the connection has been made. Yeah, you can see. So yeah, the problem is this broken wire. So if I can rejoin it back, then the field will start working and so will the alternator. So let's see if I can do that, because it is really difficult. The wire is barely visible and I will have to take this off if I am not able to solder this from here. Okay, so let's do that. Now the connection of the field winding has been removed from the slip rings. As you can see, the wire is here and this was the solder. Okay, so let's proceed to the next step. Okay, so guys, as you can see, I have soldered this new wire yellow in color, and I'm placing back the slip rings, and I have placed back the bearing. This is the new wire, and so is this one. Both are yellow in color. Okay. Now I have to place the slip ring back and solder these two wires to the slip ring. Okay, so let's do that. And also this wire is a shorter one. Okay, so guys, I have soldered the wires to the slip ring. As you can see, this is the lower wire and this is the upper wire. And now it's time to check if the connections from the field winding are made to the slip ring. Okay, so this is 5 volts DC supply from a mobile charger, and let's see if there is spark. Okay, so as you can see that the connections are perfect, and now all I have to do is place it back in and the alternator should start working as good as new. Okay, so guys, I placed this back as it was before, and now this should fit in easily. Okay, so guys, it took me a lot of time to do the repairing work for this alternator, but finally I was successful, and also I didn't want to invest any money in the repairing of this alternator. So I figured out a few shortcuts, because of which I didn't have to purchase a new regulator or the brushes. So what I did was, these two contact points are for the brushes. This is the red wire and this is the black wire. They both are connected directly to the brushes that are going to feed electricity to the field winding of this alternator, which is the rotor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give an input supply of 5 to 15 volts on these two terminals. So these are going to directly activate the rotor field winding of this alternator, and the field winding will thus be magnetized, and when I will rotate the shaft, that will induce EMF of this alternator that will finally appear on this terminal as the positive, and the body of the alternator, which is the negative, in the form of voltage and current that can be measured with the help of this multimeter. Okay, so first I'm going to do some multimeter test. So for that, I have this 5 volts mobile charge that I'm going to use to give supply to the brushes here. So the red is for the red one, and the black is for the black one. Okay, one more thing, you can see the spark, which means the connection is made. And now there is a little bit magnetic locking, which indicates that the field winding has been successfully magnetized. Okay, so guys, I disconnected one of the supply because I had to connect the output terminals of this alternator to the multimeter. And for a second, when I will connect this terminal to this terminal of the brush, the transformer will act like the alternator will act like a transformer, and you should see for a second some amount of voltage indicated on the display. Okay, yeah, you can see 0.65 volts, 1.53 volts, and now it is 0, because for generation of electricity, flux needs to keep on changing. Okay, you can see the simple hand rotation is generating electricity, 0.32 volts, 0.57, 0.73, and if I go a bit harder on it, 1.32, 1.50, 1.28, 1.74. Okay, so it's time to do some rope testing, which I'm going to mount on this pulley. Okay, go. So you saw that the voltage was above 6 point something volts, and the voltage was low because I'm not feeding it its rated input voltage, which is 12 volts, that is fed to our normal car alternators, that is 12 volts to 14 volts, and I'm only giving it 5 volts of supply from a mobile charger. So that's the reason. So anyways, now I'm going to connect an actual 12 volts load bulb, and then we will see the test. Actually, before that, I'm going to just perform the current testing. Let's see how much amps I can generate. Okay, so once again guys, okay, yeah, it was somewhere around 4.5 amperes and the voltage was around 6 point something, so it's above 25 watts that I could generate with my hand power. So now I'm going to connect an actual load bulb. Okay, so everything has been connected. Okay, go. I think the wire is not connected correctly. We'll have to do some improvement to that. Yeah. Okay, so one wire to the positive terminal and the other wire to the body of the alternator, which is the negative. Now it should work. Okay, go. Yeah, so as you saw that the bulb glue, and for the same reason it didn't glow too bright because the feed supply is only 5 volts from a mobile charger. So I'm going to increase the input voltage supply to this alternator. I'm going to connect a laptop charger instead of a mobile charger. Okay, so guys, this is a 15 volts laptop charger Toshiba, and I'm going to use the output voltage of this charger to feed the field winding of this alternator. Okay, you should see the sparking. Sparking is pretty good. It's a bit improper. Okay, and okay, so yeah, this much is fine. Now I have to wound the thread and pull it, and you should see the bulb glow to its full brightness. Yeah, the magnetic locking has also increased. Okay, go. Yeah, you can see. Okay, go. So guys, as you can see that the alternator is working perfect now. So all I had to do, if your voltage regulator has stopped working or there is some issue with it, connect the brushes directly and take 2 wires out to feed the electricity from an external source and generate electricity out from the output terminals of the alternator, and it should work fine. Yeah, as soon as you will disconnect the field supply, it will rotate easily and freely because there is no magnetic locking. But when you will connect the supply, the higher the power, the higher the voltage and current, the stronger will be the magnetism and stronger will be the magnetic locking. Okay, so guys, I'm going to go for this thread testing once more because initially I was using a shorter thread, so you weren't able to see the bulb glow for a longer period of time, but now I have extended the thread size. Okay, Yeah. Okay, so the magnetic locking has been made. Okay, go. Yeah, I think this time it was a bit longer. So guys, that was all about the video, how you should repair if your field winding is damaged, if your brushes are damaged, if your voltage regulator is damaged. So guys, that would be all about the video. Thank you so much for watching it. Please hit like and don't forget to share and subscribe. Thank you.